Hey guys, what's up? Welcome in. Come on in. You want to wait for some people to join? Hey everyone. The queen is here. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fabulous. Just here, ready to talk with you. This is going to be exciting for me. This hits a little home for me. So I am super excited to be talking with the queen herself. So I'm going to just give it a few to let people just join on in so they can start to hear all of your wisdoms and your gems that you're going to be dropping with us. So
Oh,
just a quick
awesome.
comp check. You can hear me okay?
I can hear you
Okay.
loud and clear. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
I am so excited that I actually joined successfully because this is my first Instagram live. I was like,
Really?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, look at that. See, God has a
Yes.
way of doing some things. I'm here for it. So I'll go ahead and get started for the sake of your time. I want to be respectful of it. So, welcome everybody to the official Melanin Con platform. I am your official host for Cocoa Butter Conversations, Khadijah Corey, the PG Princess. And today we have a queen in the building. And I am literally excited because this hits home for me. One, I am a former HBCU queen, so I have pageantry and all those good things. I
Okay.
also had the opportunity to run for Miss USA, and then I won Miss Congeniality 2021, so that was cool.
Wow.
And then my friend, who was also a former Miss Black USA, Maja Gary, if you are familiar with
I
her, she is
am.
one of my closest friends. So this is a special episode, and I'm super excited. So please just tell everybody your name, who you are, where you're from, and then we'll jump right into some topic discussions.
Sure. It's so nice to meet you, Khadija,
Yes.
by the way. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes.
My name is Kelly Reed. I am the reigning Ms. Black USA 2023, 2024. Sadly, in 60 days, Khadija, my reign is going to come to an end.
What?
But I know, right? It went by so
So
fast,
fast.
but I'm glad we were able to connect while I'm
Yes.
still queen. You know, I'll always be a queen,
That
but
part.
while I'm this queen. You
That
know what
part.
I'm saying? Yeah, but I love all the intersections about you being a pageant queen yourself, you know, in Maja, you being
Yes.
in PG County. I didn't know you were up the street,
Yes,
right?
yes.
You're
So we
still
got to
there.
connect. Yes, I am
Okay.
still here. So I'm just excited about this episode. I've also had the experience in pageantry, so I'm just very familiar with the process. Being on the HBCU side and then going worldwide with it. So I'm super excited to have you. So I want to jump right in. If you could
Okay.
just share a little bit about your background and just share a little bit about yourself, what you're doing, and then we'll get into your platform and the different programs and initiatives that you are also embarking on while you were in this journey and which you will continue to do.
Yes. So I am a PR professional turned social worker.
Okay.
I went to school with the hopes of being an anchor. Um, and I decided that I hated it, so I shifted to public relations. And I had great jobs working in PR, but it just wasn't fulfilling something for me. I just wanted that people connection and being able to help folks a little bit more than I was able to do as a PR professional. So I
Okay.
stumbled on social work. And once I got bit by the bug, the social work bug, I never looked back. Right now, I'm a program director for housing program for men who are in substance use recovery and who are also formerly homeless.
Okay.
So I love that work. Basically, I manage the program. I make sure that the building that we're in stays standing. I make sure that all of the men have what they need to maintain their sobriety and have a little bit of fun while they're doing it too. So it's really fulfilling work that I've been able to do for the past 3 years.
Well, I super duper love to hear that. First of all, you're very heavily involved in the community, and that is such an impact and so important. So, as the second woman and first African American director of housing programs for formerly homeless men in substance use recovery, what challenges and opportunities have you encountered in your role?
I can sum that up in one word, Khadija, and that word is microaggressions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an icky word, and maybe some people who are watching are familiar. But just so that we're all on the same page, microaggressions are little slights, little paper cuts um, in behavior or speech towards
Okay.
someone to show that you don't feel like they are competent or you don't feel like they are valid in their role. And so
Okay.
I've experienced a ton of microaggressions since I've been the program director for the program I serve.
Hmm.
And it's been hard. I've had experiences where people ask me, well, why do I have to tell you that?
Mm.
Why do I have to do what you're asking me to do?
Right.
I'm like, well, you do know I'm the director of this whole thing, right? Like, you're aware of that part.
Right.
Or I've had people go over me to bring issues to my white counterparts because maybe they felt that I wasn't competent enough to
Wow.
handle their issue. Yeah, and so those things you can imagine paper cut, paper cut, paper cut every day for three
Right.
years. Those things can become really taxing. And so the way I've combated that is just having an amazing support system that I can talk to about these issues that I'm
Right.
facing, and also telling the people who are doing these microaggressions towards me what they're doing and
Right.
how those things make me
Right.
feel, and what biases they may be exposing by
Wow.
asking those
Wow.
questions. Yeah, so that's been the biggest challenge, has been just the microaggressions and people being able to view a young Black woman as a leader, because we can we've made a lot of progress,
Yes, for sure.
but there are still unconscious biases that people have towards women and minority women when it comes to leadership and just our abilities in that arena.
Right. Wow. I mean, I can only imagine the challenges. I can only imagine the different things you may be facing in this field in the industry. So, I mean, with that, how are some things, how do you overcome those things? What are some things you are doing for yourself to kind of help you overcome those challenges and or in a sense be the bigger person, take the higher route? Like what are your tips? Like how are you managing all that?
It's not
Yeah.
easy. I would say that every day I have to practice being able to overcome these things. But as I said before, I have an amazing support system.
Yeah.
And so when I get home from work, I'm able to talk to people about what I experienced at work and how that made me feel.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm very tenacious. And so having those experiences almost makes me want to fight harder to prove to them, oh no, you may think that I'm incapable as a Black woman leader, but let me show you how capable I really am. And so in a way, it almost fuels me to work harder and harder and
Right.
harder. I'll
Right.
tell you, Khadija, that when I first started in this role, because of the population that I work with, mostly men who are in their 50s and 60s, I had a lot of people talking about me saying that I wasn't going to make it in this role. I wasn't going to last long. Some people
Really?
said, yeah, some people said that I would be in this role for maybe a year. And so things like that, I take and I convert it to, ammunition to keep going every day to prove to them, you're absolutely wrong. I am more capable than you could ever, ever imagine. So that would be my advice to someone in that type of situation.
Right.
Use your haters as motivators.
Motivators, absolutely. You are
Yeah.
on the right track. It seems like you really have a good head on your shoulders. It really seems like you have a very good, strong community as well as a support system to kind of help you just navigate those feelings and just understand, like, okay, well, I can do this better, or I can take this route, or I can change the way I respond or how I react. So that's
Mhm.
very huge. So your platform, Over with Overdose, aims to dismantle the stigma around seeking substance use treatment. What are some key initiatives or programs you have developed to support this mission?
Yeah, so I think that substance abuse disorders are very misunderstood. I think there's a lot of shame with even having a substance use disorder because people don't understand it. People think that it's a choice that you've made. And so I've been able in my role to provide education to
Wow.
people
Yeah.
about the fact that sometimes it's not a choice. Maybe it's a choice to start that using that substance, but you become addicted and your body is actually reliant on that substance to the point where
Wow.
you have no choices anymore. And it takes so much to overcome that. Also, I partner with the Department of Behavioral Health in DC,
Okay.
and I have many, many materials. So whenever I go on an appearance, I'm able to give materials about the overdose rate, about how to respond to an overdose, how to get medications to reverse an overdose, just so that I can distribute that information to people as I'm at events as well.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, it seems like you already had this mapped out prior to, so that is awesome. And I'm super excited to hear more about what you have. So, passing the clinical social work exam on your first attempt is a significant achievement. Like, congratulations to you, first and foremost.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You that girl. You that girl. So, especially considering the low first time rates of minority groups, what advice would you give to others who are preparing for this exact exam?
So you know how to study, you know what's going to be on the exam. So that's not really the issue. The issue is right up here.
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
I did was that I didn't allow those statistics to get in me and discourage me and create fear, basically. And so I would encourage someone to not pay attention to those statistics, to be confident, to trust your instincts, to know that this is the career that you want to pursue and go for it anyway. Now, the other thing that I will say is that if you have a failure on the exam, once you take it one time, that can be really discouraging. And I've seen a lot of people take it once, they fail it, and then they just never try again. And I would discourage that. I would say no matter how many times you have to take it,
Keep trying.
get up, brush
Hmm.
yourself off, and try
Yeah.
again. Try again. Because really, the only failure is when you give up, right?
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say if you have a failure with the exam, um, look at what areas of the exam you weren't as strong
Hmm.
in, go back and study, and take it again. Reschedule your exam even before you're ready, just so that you can have that target that you're going to go take your exam
Now,
again.
is there like some sort of prep class maybe to help others prepare, or like study groups, or
Mhm.
reaching out to somebody who's already, do they offer those type of resources?
Absolutely. A lot of those things you have to find on your own.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's no body that is going to just kind of hand it to you. You have
Okay.
to research, but there are a ton. I mean, classes, books, you can do independent research based on what you learned in school. But really, like I was saying, Khadija, at the end of the day, it's all about the mindset. It's the mindset that
Absolutely.
I'm going to pass it, that I'm going to do this no matter how many times it takes, and no matter
Absolutely.
what the statistics say, I'm gonna reach towards this goal.
I mean, that's really important for sure, and I really think it's important to have, those people that have already taken the test, already went
Hmm.
down the path. So now I can get your expertise and advice. So if anybody out there is about to take it, you got somebody right here that can kind of help and navigate you to success. So that is absolutely
And I
amazing. So
and I would say too, Khadija, being able to see that someone did do it, because if you have
exactly.
the statistics saying, no, Black women are not passing on the first time. But then you see me standing right here, and I have that begins to promote the idea that you can do it too.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And I definitely stand by that as well. Especially when you see somebody that looks like you, somebody that is a representation, it gives you that inside motivation, like, okay, she could do it, I can do it too. So that is absolutely amazing. Okay, so I want to kind of navigate and change a little bit to balance, right? So we all have this thing over us where we try to do work-life balance and like managing all of these things. So I kind of want to know, how do you balance your professional responsibilities with your ongoing commitments to the community, especially community service and advocacy work within Washington, D.C.?
I am a work in progress when it comes to that. One thing that I didn't tell you is that I actually live where I work.
Okay.
So it makes it even harder sometimes to create those boundaries, that work life balance that you just described, because work and life are all intertwined for me.
Right.
And so, what I've had to do is make some really, really strong boundaries. And boundaries is another word for no,
Absolutely.
unfortunately.
And that's the answer right there.
Period. That's it. I would say having a schedule and saying no.
Hmm.
So when I'm at work, 8:30 to 5 or whatever my schedule is for that day, that's work time, right? Anything related to the program that I run, okay, we
Hmm.
can address it Monday through Friday during those times. After that, once I get in this house, if it
Yeah.
has something to do with work, unless it's an
It
emergency,
could
the
wait till
building is about to burn,
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
That
Right.
part.
Right. And the men I work with, they have my cell phone number, so it makes it hard because it's like they're
Mm.
calling me sometimes for things. But I have learned to effectively say, okay, I hear you with this issue. I'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 so we can address it.
Yeah.
And then with the advocacy and community work, that's when I clock out from being a director, that's when I clock in to doing those
Yeah.
other things or on the weekend. And even with that, you have to create a boundary there too, right? Because you
Absolutely.
can't burn yourself out, because then you're no good to anybody. You're not going to be
Absolutely.
excelling at work, and you're not going to be affecting the community in a positive way either. So
Right.
schedule and no.
And I was gonna ask, because you talked about, saying no. What does that look like to you? How can someone feel comfortable to say no? And then how do you replenish your energy after giving so much to not only your job but also the community? What do you do to kind of replenish, regroup, kind of get my mind back on track so that way the next day and or into the next weekend I'm ready to still accomplish and do the job that I'm made to do?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And there really is not an easy answer. I wish that
Hmm.
I could just say do it and then it's going to be smooth sailing, cuz
Yeah.
it took me years and years. I mean, I've been a social worker now for ooh, probably like 7, 8 years, and I feel like just now I'm really mastering being able to set
Wow.
boundaries and being able to say no and really turn my mind off when I come home from work. Like, I'm not even thinking about work anymore.
Yeah. Because some people bring work home.
And I was me.
Yeah.
I did 100%. And I saw how it affected my relationships, my
Hmm.
mood, my energy, all of that stuff. So I think I just wanted to say first, I validate if somebody's having a hard time with that, it's not
Yeah.
easy. But if you keep trying, and setting those boundaries, it becomes easier. So I would say just start, keep practicing. It's not going to feel good at
Right.
first. Saying no doesn't feel good,
Right. It
especially
doesn't.
if you're saying no to someone or something you care about.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
I agree. Because sometimes it can be a little tricky because you start to feel bad and it's like that guilt trip, but you got to stand firm.
Yes.
No is a solid answer. It is a sentence. It needs no explanation. Hey, I'll rejuvenate. I'll pick this back up on another time.
Hmm.
Simple as that. So I completely understand that. Okay. So just kind of moving forward with your future and the next things and your goals and any more things you have to accomplish. Looking ahead, what are some of your goals for the future of your platform, Over with Overdose? And how do you plan to continue making a difference in the lives of those affected by substance use disorders?
Hmm. Well, I will continue to do my job. And so, because I work with men who are in substance use recovery, I will, in effect, still be impacting lives. I work with
Okay.
35 men and I support them in their journeys, some of whom have been sober for 30 years, which is just amazing.
Okay.
Um, but speaking of overdose prevention and addressing that specifically, I think that there are things legislation wise
Okay.
that should be implemented in this country. One of which is there is an overdose reversing medication called naloxone. Have you heard of it?
I have
Oh,
not.
really? Okay, well, I actually have some right here. It
Okay.
looks like this.
Okay.
It's like a little spray that
Okay.
you um, put up your
Okay.
nose, not your nose, but it's
Yeah,
someone
but
who's
like nasal
experiencing.
spray, like.
Thank you. That's a much better way to say that.
Because I use that for
But
allergies, so.
yes, exactly. So if someone is experiencing an overdose, it's very easy for a layperson, just like me or you, with no medical training, um, to use this, and it instantly revives someone, maybe one or two doses, who's having an overdose.
Oh, wow.
So that's amazing, right? If you can
Very.
save somebody's life with a nasal spray, I mean, how
Wow.
crazy is that?
Wow.
And so DC, DC in our area is just amazing. We're very progressive here,
Yes.
and DC offers this for free.
Wow.
Yeah, so all you have to do is go to a pharmacy. They even have vending machines in various areas of DC where you can get it for free. And I feel like if overdose is an issue that this entire country is facing, everybody needs to be offering this for free because
Free.
free,
Yeah.
right? And you can carry it in your purse, and it's just a very simple tool to be able to save someone's life. So that's
Wow.
one thing that I want to try to move forward. And I feel like I'm
Okay.
very well positioned to do that because I'm in the nation's capital
Yes.
and right here where the laws are being made. So that's
Exactly.
really cool. Yeah. And then the other thing is that there's a drug called fentanyl,
Mm-hmm.
which is an opioid, and
Yep.
it's showing up in drugs other than typical drugs that it may have shown up in the past, like marijuana, things
Right.
that our youth are using. And so there's a increase of youth who are now dying from overdoses because
Wow.
fentanyl is in the drugs that they're using
Wow.
recreationally. And so that's another area that I kind of want to dive into and maybe even do programming at schools just to bring awareness to the students about the risks that they may be taking by engaging in drugs, and equipping them to be able to save each other's lives if they're ever in a situation
Absolutely.
where someone is experiencing an overdose.
Wow. I mean, those are huge. Okay, and those are major. Those are something that really can impact the community in the right way and the right direction moving forward. So, I mean, it seems like you already got it together. And one thing about it, you have my support. So, any way I can like push the word out or however I can help you, please let us know, especially this platform. That's what we're all about, is really uplift and supporting each other, especially people in the Black and Brown community. So,
Absolutely.
Kelly, can you tell me just a little bit? Well, not just me, everybody listening in. Can you tell us a little specific moment that you may have experienced or a story during your volunteer work that you profoundly impacted you and reinforced your commitment to social work? What kept you, what still drives you, and what experience or story that you can remember that say, you know what, I belong here and this is what I was made to do?
Mm. I get that question so much. And I still struggle to think of one specific moment.
Mm-hmm.
I served as a year-long volunteer at a place called
Okay.
Christ House,
Okay.
and they serve homeless men who have illnesses, basically. So
Okay.
while they're sick and recovering, the social work department basically gets to work getting them housing, benefits, whatever, while they're going through their recovery. And I can't think of a specific moment, but I just remember the feeling I had when I left work every day.
Wow.
I just felt like I just made a difference in someone's life. I just got someone insurance. Now they don't have to worry about medical bills. Now they don't have to avoid going to the doctor because they don't want a
Right.
medical bill. Now
Right.
they can get proper care and have a better life. I just got somebody benefits, disability benefits. So now they have income every month for life. You know
Wow.
what I mean? And how many doors is that going to open for them
Right.
going
Right. Wow.
just little old me, you know,
But making a huge
with my
impact.
yeah, with my little computer, making calls,
Yes.
you know, harassing people politely. But that's really what motivated me to pursue social work and to keep moving forward with it. It's the reward of knowing that you have the power to change someone's life.
Wow.
That's
And
huge. It's amazing.
humbling.
Yeah, it really
And it really
is. It
puts
really is.
a lot of things into perspective. Like, wow, if I can do this, and imagine when a community comes together to do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely can see that. That's so impactful, and I just love your journey. I love your story, and I just love the love that you have for what you do,
Hmm.
and you're passionate about it. And a lot of people aren't passionate with the work that they have, but when you actually are in the field you belong in, where you can make change and impact and set the tone, then obviously you found purpose. So that's
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm
That's amazing.
grateful. I'm grateful because not a lot of people can be so fulfilled from the work that they do. So
Absolutely.
I get a paycheck and I also get this feeling that is indescribable that, you know, is um invaluable. You know, it's priceless.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So, what are some of the most effective therapeutic approaches you found for supporting children and families with life changes?
Wow. I worked with children and families for a couple of years before I entered into this role.
Okay.
And I learned a lot from that experience. Um, I would say the most effective approach is just helping the family to understand that they are a unit,
Mm,
they're a system. And when I think of a system, I think that if one part is affected, all the
all of
parts are affected,
it.
all of it,
Absolutely.
right? So
Absolutely.
if Khadija, let's say you're the kid in the family, Khadijah's acting up, it's because other parts in the system are not functioning like they should,
Right.
right? It's not because Khadijah's a bad kid or because Khadijah has an attitude problem. It's
Right.
because something's
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. Something's going on.
Yeah. And so I think the most effective strategy or approach that I found when working with families was helping the family to see that we're all responsible for what's going on
Yeah.
and we're all equally responsible for making it better.
Yeah.
And that was hard, especially working with families that look like us, because sometimes, well, I can't even say that all families, because sometimes the parents don't want to accept, hey,
It's
I have a role in this.
me. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly's not here to just fix my child. I need to make
Yeah.
some changes too.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
working with families to really see like y'all are a unit. You know what I mean? And y'all need to come together and we all need to make little shifts in order for this system to function more
Yeah.
healthily.
And
That,
work better for us.
yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Hmm.
Well, Kelly, I don't want to hold up any more of your time. And I'm sure people here that tuned in with us live on Instagram have found this information and this conversation so valuable. We really appreciate all that you're doing in the community. So please let the people know, where can they find you, keep up with you, your projects, support you. Just let us know where we need to tap in with you so that way we can keep up and keep track of what you have going on in the future.
Yeah, I would say the main place to stay plugged in with me is Instagram, and you can find me at official Ms. Black USA, and you'll see my
All
picture up
right.
there like this.
Very beautiful.
Yes.
Owning the crown, doing what needs to be done. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. One more time, I am the official Melanin Con host and your host for the series Cocoa Butter Conversations. I am Khadijah Corey, the PG princess, the hostess with the mostest. Call your girl, book your girl. You already know all the vibes we bring. Thank you so much, Kelly. Kelly, so much for you tuning in and giving us all of your wisdom and your heart and your passion with what you do. Thank you so much. And I'll
Thank
see you
you, Khadija.
next
So nice
time.
to meet you. Bye.